Okay. So for the recording sake, welcome guys to the orientation session of GenAI training. My name is Harun. As I said, I will introduce myself for a minute, and then I'll let you guys introduce, go around the table, and then we can get started about the orientation, which is, as I talk, all about what we are going to learn in this training and how we are going to learn in a collaborative fashion. Okay. So with that, let me go to my sense here. Okay. So what is all the hype? First, let me talk about myself, then we'll come back. So my name is Harun Sayed. I have 25 years of experience, IT experience. First 12 years have been in the area of ERP, CRM, data, kind of implementing the ERP solutions across the clients. So I've traveled and worked in about 7 countries with various clients. Been in the US for past 12 years and then working on data and AI projects and analytics platforms. Uh, so I've worked for Apple, Cisco, Nordstrom, NetApp, Costco Wholesale, Franklin Templeton, all of these customers, clients I have worked for where I implemented the data and AI solutions. Um, Most recently, I have been involved in building a product on GenAI. So basically, Databricks and GenAI, where we used the quite a bit of building a RAG application for an MDM solution, deduplication solution using GenAI. And currently, also, I'm doing an architecture for a company and fintech company for their data warehousing platform, data analytics platform on the cloud, as well as the GenAI architecture solution for the use cases. So I have all of these, you can see the certifications, and I've been training for the last 8 to 10 years, both in data, ML, and AI. Core has been on the Databricks and breadth of the tools that I have and platforms. Okay, so that's about me. Let's go around the table. Please, if you can introduce yourself, and then we will come back and start this orientation. Let's go with who's Arun Vikas. Let's go just alphabetically, no in no particular order.
Hey, hi. Thank you, Arun. Thank you for opportunity. This is Arun. I'm a Azure data engineer at Exavit Technologies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, currently working for the migration project.
Okay. How many years of
Hello.
experience do you have?
I do have 4 years of experience.
Oh, 4 years. Great. Okay.
Yeah.
Ayush?
Yes. Hello.
Yeah. Can you just introduce yourself about where you're working,
Yeah.
how many years of
Yeah.
experience?
So I have 5 years of experience in IT. So I started my career in the big data Hadoop admin. So
Mm-hmm.
my first company was Infosys. So I'm working for a Citibank client.
Okay.
So we are working on prem Hadoop. So we have 50 plus clusters. So we are working on CDH 6.2.1. Okay. Then connect like I work in Infosys for at least like 2.5 years. Now I'm
Mm-hmm.
currently working in CGI. Okay. So here I get an opportunity to work on CDP. Okay. So like last year only like we have migrated from on-prem to cloud. So here we are using AWS plus Databricks. Like AWS in S3 we are storing the data and Databricks we are using for processing. So in the Databricks we are using like SQL warehouse, job cluster and all the like latest things like Delta Live tables and all. Okay. So actually I am good in like on-prem Hadoop, but this cloud is new thing to me. So already I'm learning like Azure data engineering. I want to move in Azure data engineering. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm still learning the Databricks because yeah, as of now, as of now, the company is also like the client is also providing some KT, okay, sessions. So basically in the Databricks, my work is on the optimization part. If any job is running long running, so I need to find out like any long running job which is costing more,
No,
reducing cost.
yeah, that's good. Thank you. I should have a great experience, great knowledge. For the sense of time, we have also other people. So yeah, that's
Sure.
great to hear from you. Awesome. We'll go with Kunde. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Kunde, can you just introduce yourself? Might be on mute. We have Mitran joining, Mitran Mohan. Mitra dropped off. Okay, Murthy, you can quickly introduce for a minute.
Yeah, hi, my name is Murthy. So I live in North Carolina in US. So I work for one cybersecurity company. I have 12 years of experience. I'm a data engineer. So my core expertise is in Spark, Python, and Databricks. So my currently I joined this course just because my company is going towards Azure OpenAI and the Databricks Genie space. So I wanted to get some insights from Harun actually. So from the team.
Okay, yeah, thanks, Murthy. Vinay?
Yeah, hi, this is Vinay. Total, I have 5 years experience. Right now, I work for Entity Data. We are working on the migration project. I mean, our client is Humana. Initially, I worked for Tech Mahindra 3 years. There, my client was Verizon. There also, I worked. There also I worked on migration project. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, Mitran has joined back. Hey, Mitran, if you're available, can you just introduce yourself? Just a minute about your work experience and where you are.
I'm working as a data engineer, especially in Databricks, Data Factory, and all the other Azure data components I'm using for my work. I have 10 plus years of experience. Yeah, thank you.
10 plus?
Yeah, 10 plus years of experience.
Oh, awesome. Okay. So all of you guys are located in India or somebody's from, Murthy is from US. Anybody else from US? Okay, that's fine. Okay, let's get started. Let me share my screen again. I don't know why the screen share is going there. That's fine. Okay, so if you look at it, right, so what are we trying to understand today? So we're trying to explore and see what the GenAI is all about, right? So we have seen a lot of hype, especially in the last 2 years, I think since ChatGPT was unveiled. Everybody is got hooked up and it's almost has become our Google now, like how Google was earlier. ChatGPT has now replaced almost for any search or for anything. And also, GenAI is something like what we have earlier. Data engineering was right years before when machine learning started or the cloud happened, right? The big data happened, the revolution, and before that, internet happened, right? So all of these, every few years or decade, you get a new revolutionary technology that changes everything. 20 years ago, all you had, or 25 years ago, all you had was the client and server architectures, where the server is all. Every company had their own server rooms. I don't know if you have seen. So every company used to have a server room. They used to have all these racks of servers, and just like you see any picture of a data center right now, earlier every company used to have that. on their premise. There was a server room specially managed and maintained, and all their data, all their applications run from there. Then they had a backup, manual backups they used to take in the racks, in the DVDs or CDs or tapes. They used to take tapes for the data backups, and the tapes were labeled and marked 30 days. Recording after 30 days, they take one of the oldest tape and erase it, and then take a backup, cold backup and hard backup kind of a thing. Most prominent database was only Oracle. Some part of the SQL, MySQL was there, but mostly it was Oracle. So, and then anybody who has to access anything has to have a desktop computer and then have some kind of software installed, the client installed on their desktop to connect to the server, to the application, or to the database. So from that era, we moved on to kind of 3-tier, 4-tier architecture, thin clients based on browser-based clients, internet. Then Hadoop happened. Then, first internet happened. Then Hadoop happened. Then after that, we had cloud technology, cloud platforms. Like when big data happened, there were like Mapr, Cloudera, and Hortonworks. These were the vendors that were providing on-prem clusters for parallel processing or big data processing and storing with the clusters. Then cloud happened. Now we have Google, Amazon, and the Azure managing all of those data on the cloud, computing and providing the storage solutions for all of these. So then we got replaced. Everything now is on the cloud. That's where we are moving, at least not everything, maybe 60, 70, or 80%. That's where everybody is moving onto the cloud as more and more mature. Then parallelly, there was this ML, machine learning was happening in over a decade or so. It was still prominent, where there were algorithms like linear, like regression, clustering, recommendation. So all of these were happening. And then, just give me a bit. Somebody's waiting to join. Let me check if I can forward them. Just give me one. Sagar has not forwarded this. Okay. So ML was happening in the last decade, where companies like big companies almost, using it for predictions. Even healthcare, they were using for classifications, research. Retail, they were using to predict the sales. And the social media coming in, Netflix or Amazon, the online retail, using it for recommendation engines. So all of these used to have ML algorithms. Then with Advent, then we had a transformer model that was released based on Google's research paper. And then the generative AI really picked up. I think in 22, when ChatGPT released, that was the defining moment for GenAI, that everybody went crazy looking at the features of what the capabilities of what the ChatGPT can do. So from there, right now, we moved on from ChatGPT, which is using a LLM, large language model. You must all be knowing that, to building agents. So what are AI? So multi AI agents and then agentic AI, how they are transforming currently. So AI agents. And everywhere in the industry now, it's not GenAI, it's not LLM, it's all about AI agents. So if you look at some of the codes from Jeff Bezos or Mark Zuckerberg or Andrew Ng, all of these people are talking about how AI agents will define our way of transacting in the future world. Okay, so that's where we are. We'll talk about these things. Okay, what we'll go through introduction. That's what we have already done. Profile I have already done. I know. So I just put this, but normally my way of training is not following point to point or structured. So we will be covering and uncovering things based on the relevance, okay, and how it would be useful. We'll talk about industry trends and use cases, so I'll not bore you much in this session. Very, very briefly. Then we'll talk about curriculum, basically what we will learn. That's where we spend more, quite a bit of time, and then few demos that I will show you today using that will give you a glimpse of what you are going to learn in this. Not everything, but at least a few things. So that's how we'll go. So any questions before we go ahead, move ahead? So let's talk about history. Anybody?
See, I have joined without understanding the complete context of this boot camp. So just wanted to know, this boot camp is generally targeting the data engineers who want to understand and use GenAI in their field of work, right?
Absolutely, yes. So it's not just for data engineers. It is for data engineers and project managers or program managers who are managing the projects right now in the area of data engineering, or who want to define the use cases, GenAI use cases for the business, who want to manage the AI projects.
So
And
I
business
have a
analysts.
couple of more questions. So, for example, see, GenAI is generally a part of the traditional AI on top
Yes.
of the general algorithms, right? So, and especially NLP is a very important factor in this. So, do we need to completely understand that NLP transformers and all those things hands on? Then only we can get into Gen AI, then agentic AI, all those things, or without that background, can we get into this lang chain, and that is a framework anyway. But can we get into agentic AI without understanding all those basics? Or are you covering those?
Absolutely, that's a good question. Mithran. So it's more like using a product and getting to know to build the product, or the parts of the product. Okay, so if I want to say, if I'm building an iPhone, for example, okay, I order if I get all the parts, I know how to assemble it and build an iPhone. But if you take each part, it has its own engineering. So am I going to build the parts, or am I just going to take the parts and build the iPhone myself, right? Or if I want to build I want to assemble a laptop or assemble a computer, I can just order all the parts, the chips, the processors, and everything, and assemble it myself. But it will help if you know the individual components, how they work, but it's not absolutely mandatory. So I'm saying, if you know the concept of what is a transformer model, like when I say generative AI, how does they work? They just work based on the principle of predicting the next token. They work based on the transformer model, where they process large amounts of trained on large amounts of data, and they can process the tokens or the text in parallel. So there's some concepts that you know. Okay. And machine learning, when I talk about, if you know, hey, what is a classification algorithm? What is regression algorithm? And what is recommendation algorithm? How they are used in the industry. That's one level of knowledge that you need. But if you want to implement those algorithms, say using uh, PyTorch or scikit-learn, there are some libraries available. So that's a different that's a different role. ML engineer is a different role. GenAI engineer is a different role. It's not mandatory that you should have all ML engineer skills to be a GenAI engineer. Okay, more and more focus. It's kind of a branching out. So GenAI engineer will have all GenAI. So the foundation is same, data engineering. You should know about data. You should know about ETL. You should know about Python. You should know about some databases, SQL, and everything. But then there will be different branches that will be built on top of data engineering. There will be BI, where you will use different tools, Power BI, Cognos, Tableau to build dashboards. There will be machine learning engineer who will implement these kind of algorithms on the data to do a prediction or classification or whatever, right? Then there are GenAI engineer who will use the models that are already using those algorithms to do some part of research for you or analysis for you. When I talk about cancer research, you can use the machine learning algorithms to do a classification algorithm of a cancer cell based on the data you provide. There are some companies who have come up with this specialized model that is trained on exactly the same thing, specially suited for healthcare domain. You can use those models which are domain specific to do the same thing. Okay. So long story short, yes, it will help. Okay. First, basic level, you should know what are all the algorithms that are there and how they're used. But you don't need to get deeper and learn implementing that to do the GenAI. Does that answer your question?
Understood, Harun. So
Yeah.
a follow-up question, like, so this is what is expected in the industry for the time being, and if we go through this course,
Yeah.
What kind of role we can try to target? For example, currently we are working as a data engineer, right? So beyond that, with this skill, what kind of a role or extra responsibility we are trying to achieve? So
Yeah,
is
it is a
this
GenAI engineer role. There is a role called GenAI engineer. There is a role called
oh
GenAI architect.
uh-huh.
So all of these, that's what I said, right? It's a new branch. Just like you have
Uh,
data engineer, data architect, cloud
uh,
architect, solution architect, ML engineer, ML architect, machine learning
hmm.
engineer, machine learning architect, you have a role called GenAI engineer. And then you have a role called GenAI architect. Okay. So GenAI
Okay.
engineer will be responsible, just like you are building the data pipelines as a data engineer now to move data across.
Hmm.
GenAI engineer will be building the RAG applications. Just if you want to
Hmm.
build a chatbot for your
Hmm.
company for customer
Hmm.
service, if you want to build an agent that can say for a travel company, if you want to build an app or a kind of a UI where customer can use to automatically reserve or build their own vacation, everything that agent can take care of instead of a human agent. So you will be building those agentic AI pipelines or applications. So that is your GenAI engineer. As an architect, you will be understanding the business problems and see where you can replace or use the GenAI solutions to automate that business problem. As I said, customer care. The entire customer care department can be an AI agent that can autonomously handle all the requests, um, talk to different tool or different sub agents or agents that it has. I mean, when I talk about agent, it's an AI agent, not human agent. And those agents can decide, they have the tools that we created, what kind of tools you create, use the tools, do the research, get back, solve the problem, and give it. So all of that entire thing can be one agentic AI application. So architect will try to understand what kind of application he needs. Is it a RAG or is it a it's a kind of agentic AI? What tools do you need? What models do you need? Do you need to fine tune the models? All of that, right? So senior GenAI engineer roles or solution architect roles would need kind of tuning, tuning the LLMs for your particular data, or building from scratch, taking the vanilla version and training the model on, let's say if you say chat GPT, right? Or any of the Anthropic models or Olama, you take a base vanilla version of the model and you can train yourself from the scratch. It might take your company $200,000 or $500,000. You see, you're saying like you heard about DeepSeek, which was trained in less than a fraction of cost. So basically, that also can be a role of architect, GenAI architect kind of thing. So that is what that these are the roles that are new roles that are coming up. Earlier, you only had a ETL engineer or data analyst or kind of roles. Now you have data engineer, you have data architect, you have cloud architect roles, right? Similarly, the new roles that are coming up is the GenAI engineer and GenAI architect. So this training would be helping you to target the GenAI engineer role or a kind of a bit of GenAI architect role, and it will also help people who are already in projects or managing projects to have an overall understanding of the platform and tools what we are available in the GenAI space.
Arun, see, few of my friends who are working in similar to the same tech, what they are saying is that most of the GenAI projects are in a POC mode, and
POCs.
most of the project are not generating any revenue for the companies. For example,
Absolutely.
the LN, Mindtree and all my friends working. So, is it a hype, or is it really going to just like normal project which generate revenue? End of the day, companies needs to generate a revenue. They cannot fund endlessly for these kind of POCs for a client. Unless the client start paying, this will be a fade, right? Just like many other technologies. So what do you think the future, like this is going to
So
help us?
see, yeah, see, yeah, I understand where you're coming from. Yes, the adoption has been not as expected. As you said, all the companies are doing POCs, only few are getting into production. Having said that, there are challenges that because the industry is not matured yet. Okay, first thing. Why I'm saying is, what are the challenges? One, yesterday also I was talking about it to one of the candidates who called me personally. There are two challenges. One is on the security and the what you call the confidence level of all of these. The second are the business use cases. So if you look at the use cases, where the GenAI would mostly fit is the retail, customer care, travel, and NLP, and say research, legal. So these are the things where it has most of the value right now. Say, for example, if I take a legal research, an attorney is doing a legal research for a case. Earlier, before Google, they used to go and do each of the books and refer and get all and then read and summarize. Then used Google, we used Stack Overflow. So right now, all of that is combined into a chat GPT. You can ask, you can provide your documents and get a very good summary of the document. Okay. And research, healthcare, where you can give data and ask it to analyze. There are, which are currently, if you look at healthcare and legal and retail, are the most commonly adapting industries for GenAI. Why the adoption is not higher is because the LLM, because of some of the challenges the LLMs has, like they generate text. They do not not like Google, right? So Google will only give you references. It'll throw you 10 links on the web. You go and figure out what you need and what it is helpful for. ChatGPT does not give you those. If you ask, it will give you references, but what it does is it has been trained, it knows all of that data. So it will try to generate an answer from what it knows. When it is generating, every time you give a prompt, you don't get back the same answer. You'll get a similar answer, but not exactly same. So, and there is kind of hallucination. You never know whether the answer it provided is correct or it's just making up something. So that's called hallucination. So that is the biggest problem. How do you handle the hallucination? Make sure that your LLM is giving you the correct answer. Okay. Or it's a very perfect answer or the correct answer, basically. So why it's very important in case of finance and trading, because you have to exactly match the numbers. You cannot just estimate or guess or give something close to it. That's the biggest problem there. The second one is the guardrails. It might give you malicious answers, or people try to exploit kind of a thing. How do you handle that? And data security. How do you handle data security? So these are the frameworks that are being worked upon. Now, is it a fashion or fade? I don't think it's a fashion or fade, because the industry, everybody, it may not be at 80% or so that they are getting into production, but the industry itself is expecting to grow to 20-30 billion dollars in the next 5 years, just from the GenAI. So I don't think it's a fashion or fad. It's just wait and watch to adapt. These lower ones, where the risk is low, are already adapting. The industries where the risk is high are not adapting. You can see there are finance firms which are still using the big, what you call the mainframes, the COBOL language. You can still see they have not replaced it yet, even after 50-60 years of all of these cloud and everything. They still have on-premise server stored in their data center, using their own servers, using the mainframes, using COBOL language. They're still there. Recently, I worked on one of the client who had their 60-year-old language called APL, another processing language, which is all mathematical symbols. They have not replaced it yet. They're still using the same language. It's been like the language is 60 years old. Nobody knows. There are only very few people who understand and know that language. So some organizations, the risk is high. Yes, they still wait and watch. But some organizations, just like even machine learning also, not everybody does. But some companies, all the big companies do, tech companies do, social media platforms do use it. Like your LinkedIn, Netflix, all the big top 5 companies, tech companies, they all use machine learning. They all use cloud. They all use NLP. They all use GenAI as well. Okay. Yeah, the adoption currently is low, but I don't think it will fade out. It is here to stay because the stakes are higher. And we are seeing more and more research, analysis, and developments happening, features that are getting released. So you cannot ignore that as of now. It's definitely going to be here, just like data engineering is here. It's still early adoption, I would say. Okay.
Got it. Thank you.
Yeah, but again, it's not something that, it's not like you are doing engineering and you're going learning to do medicine. You're not changing you're not moving out of IT. You're not moving out of data engineering, right? You're not moving out of cloud. It's just an additional skill set that you are acquiring. So there is no risk in learning for you anyways. But there is always rewards because you are ahead of the game. Some of the features that we are exploring are not even available in from the vendors. They are all still in the what you call preview stage that we are exploring some of the tools they are building and releasing. So we are ahead of the game. When people actually start, they will be amazed that we know all of these tools in this platform. Okay, so let's not waste more time. We have almost like 40 minutes. So that's what I was talking about. Good Mitran, good discussion, good questions. Yes, we should we should not hide anything or we should not ignore anything. We have to accept, acknowledge basically, yes, these are the challenges in this area. But what am I going to lose? What am I going to gain? Right? So you are acquiring additional skills, you're acquiring additional tools, you will get that edge. Right now, what I have seen in every job posting for data engineer, they just add preferred GenAI, right? So that will add you the edge over the same candidate who does not have GenAI or who does not have any AI, just data engineering. You will have the edge over them. And definitely when there is something POCs or anything that's there in the company, you will be given more opportunity because you have already gone through and learned and know all of this stuff. Okay, so content creation is the most, like you have text to image, text to video tools that are coming in, a lot of AI tools, platforms that are helping the designers basically in the art world, in the creative world, in the research world, in the legal world. So they everywhere these industries have already adapted and started using it in their day-to-day life, right? Now, so what we're talking about, Tech Force 2025 Tech Forecast highlights. Trending technologies, if you see, AI agents and LangChain, agentic RAG, Python, Bedrock, Kubernetes, SQL, and SL. So we will be covering 1, 2, 3, 4, top 4 plus 6. So out of 7, we will be doing 5. SLM is basically another, instead of large language model, now they are coming up with small language models, specifically suited, as I was talking about, for the smaller domains so that the overhead is not more, right? So fine-tuned domain-specific models that are coming up with SLM. So as you have said, in the last 12 months, the growth of interest is in AI agents. In 25 and beyond, AI agent technology will be used in many areas. Infrastructure automation to build business process. There are so many insights by prominent industry tech people. So okay.
Hey, Mahesh, I joined a little bit late.
Yeah.
I think half an hour into the space where Mitron is asking a lot of good
Sure.
questions.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think one summary I want to say. I work as a product manager, a senior product manager in Toyota, and I work on the demand and supply AML space. We build forecasting models and predicting models. My team builds those. But
Awesome.
yeah. So GenAI, one of the questions is AI base fundamental theorem is continuous learning.
Yes.
It's basically every day it learns, every minute it learns. Maybe from this meeting, even the recording, everything Zoom learns.
Yes.
What we are asking, everything. So one of the future aspects is we need to, as you said, the roles will be building up, but at the same time, technology will keep on adding. It keep on learning. It keep on adding. But as Harun, you said, we are very early into the stage. $30 billion industry in the 5 years, and how much we are going to be part of it is very important for us, right?
Yep.
And that's where it is, Mitron. We need to be. We are very early in the stock market. Let's say it's in cents right now. It's going to become like in thousands. So you want to enter now, wait for it, and keep learning. I think that's the biggest point. What I would say from my industry where I'm working on. Every day it's changing, and you want to be part of the change. And that's
Yes,
the best
absolutely.
part of AI. If you're not into that loop, you miss out.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely, Mahesh. You're spot on.
Thank
That's
you,
what I
Mahesh.
said. We are like early adopters, and we'll always have that early mover advantage kind of thing. And it's very exciting to learn, right?
Absolutely.
It is very exciting. It is very exciting to me. I do very little work on GenAI in the project. So not like you get to do 8 hours of GenAI work every day.
Right.
Okay. What I do 80% of data engineering work. I get only 10 to 20% of GenAI work. Like we built, even Sagar was part of the same product that we built on the MDM and GenAI that we used. So we are using GenAI here and there. I agree with, but it's in, as I said, we are early adopters, and we will be one of the top, go-to people, top people with the skill sets that are needed in the future. Absolutely. Thank you, Mahesh, for validating that. Appreciate it. Anything else before we look at? I hope you have already gone through this curriculum here that we're talking about. So
One
what
question, Harun, sorry. Do you cover any supply chain or retail use cases as well?
it's more focused on the platforms and tools that we use to solve the use cases.
Understood.
We can explore the use cases, domain specific use cases. I mean, it's just the data sets that we would need to get for the specific domains and the business problem to solve for. But the platform and tools will be same. That's what we'll be
Agree.
using to come. So basically, the use case, the data set, and also the models that you want to use. Getting a domain specific model is difficult. Not difficult, expensive for personal use to learn. There are a lot of healthcare domain specific, but they are not free, right? So we can look at how close we get to the actual use cases that we want to explore.
Yeah. Thanks, Harun.
Yeah. So it will be an 8 weeks, 16 sessions, as I talked about. And this is the lay of the land, what we will be talking about and covering. Tools and platforms. Hardware, we talked about NVIDIA. It's just there. We know all GPUs that we use. We may not use. If we want, we can use GPU, but that will be expensive. For personal learning, we may not need GPUs. LangChain, then we have vector databases, retrieval systems. We explore various vector databases. And again, don't look at this list as, Mahesh was saying, this is going to change very frequently. So new tools come in. So the new frameworks come in, new platforms come in, so they might change. But the concept overall will be here. We will use some cloud and AI models, basically, and platforms. In the platforms, we say frameworks, we use LangFlow, LangGraph, and the Amazon Bedrock that we will explore some of the platforms. Vector databases, we'll use Chroma, FireDB, Pinecone, some other whatever available, AstraDB we'll use to explore. We'll use for monitoring, we'll explore Langfuse, Langsmith. LLM providers like basic LLMs to build any of these applications, we have to use either OpenAI, Claude, Mistral, Grok, any of the LLMs that are available, we can use to build these RAG or agents applications. Data is just another framework, and Llama Index. We will talk about these when we build RAG. Crew AI is the platform, just like AutoGen, that we will explore with LangGraph to build multi-agent AI collaboration in this. So how this is structured? So every week we'll have 2 sessions, same time. Right now, what we are having from 9:30 till 11, plus or minus 10-15 minutes. So we'll explore about introduction to generative AI, what are the core components, what it is mostly. The first 2 sessions heavier on the theoretical side, but we'll still explore what are the LLMs, some exciting learnings from how it has evolved, how it does, what are the algorithms or technologies that it uses underlying, how it predicts the tokens, and what are the basics of prompt engineering, basically. I know you all have been writing, interacting with ChatGPT, asking questions, but there's always a technique to a formal way of asking a question is called a prompt, and a prompt engineering based on how you build, how you want to behave your model, how you want to control the output from your model is all built into these techniques, basically, which is called prompt engineering. So we'll explore some of these techniques: zero shot, few shot, chain of thought techniques, common pitfalls, and small assignments, as I said, every week, to compare the output from different models. When you give an input, how would you get an output from these models, different models? When you use, what kind of output you get? What is the best fit model for you? For example, if you take OpenAI, it has 4, 5, 6 models. Some of them are general chat models, some of them are reasoning models, some of them are code based specific, right? If you're a developer and you're only interested in generating code or evaluating code, there's a different model that is specifically trained for that you can use, O3 mini or Mo3 mini high something. If in general chat, you have ChatGPT 4o latest. So things like that, you can, we will go through, evaluate. Next, we'll get into something called embeddings and vector databases, which is very specific to the ML and AI. So what is an embedding? How do you generate embeddings? How they are used? What are the models that we can use to generate the embeddings from the text? So that's the first part, generating embeddings from your text or from your data. And then once you generate the embeddings, you store it in a database, special database called vector database, which helps in the semantic search. The normal database, we use search based on specific format. You do like equal to or not equal to or percent like something, but it does an exact match. Vector databases help you to do a semantic search, like something is similar, not exactly same, but similar, which means your SQL, when you write in databases, if you write where equal to this, you run 10 times, million times, you get the same answer, as long as the data in the background doesn't change. But when you go to semantic search, you change the parameters, you give the same query, you might get different answers. Just like LLM, every time you give a prompt, you might get a slightly different answer. It doesn't exactly match. So how do you do a semantic search and why it is useful, how it is useful? So we'll go through that and build a semantic search engine using some of the vector databases. Then we'll move on to the week 3, where we'll talk about retrieval augmented generation, RAG frameworks. So you have embeddings, you have vector databases, you have LLM model, but how do you connect all of these? I'm not interested in the general knowledge, what ChatGPT knows. I'm interested only in what my organization have. If a customer comes in and asks some question, I want my model or my application to answer from the information that I have, my HR policies, my return policies, not just what ChatGPT knows. So how do I make sure my chatbot answers only specifically from the information that I provide, or specifically information of my organization, my policies, my return policy, my refund policy, right? So those, it's called RAG application, where you give your own data to the chatbot, to the LLM model to answer the question from. So how do you give that data is all of this. You build, normally data engineering, you are building data pipelines. Similarly, you build all your source data that you want your LLM to have access to. And that source data is processed, like here, generate embeddings, you put it in a vector database, and you connect that vector database to generate a context related results, similar results, augment it to the, you give all those results to the model, and then the model will go through that and answer the question the customer has asked specific to your organization or data that you have provided. From that, it will extract the answer and answer the user. So we build those RAG frameworks, and then we say what is LangChain is the most de facto standard that used to connect all of these components, LangChain. And they said like PhiData is one of the frameworks that we use to create RAG or agents, just using the code, basically using LangChain. So this is the first level of exploring RAG and LangChain. Then we move on to the frameworks like low code, no code. You have been doing ETL for a long time. You can do ETL on your own, but then there are platforms like Informatica, like Pentaho, where you get widgets for a transformation. You can write your own transformation, but you also get some pre-built transformations available. You drag and drop and connect. Okay. And then you can write your transformations. If you want to join two data from two tables in Informatica, you write a join transform operation and then connect those two and you will join. Or you can also write SQL to join those two, right? Similarly, here also you can write your own code base to generate all of these, build the RAG applications, or you can use frameworks. So what are the frameworks? Low code, no code frameworks. There are a lot. Well, Google has its Vertex AI. Amazon has Bedrock. Azure has its own. And then there are some external other companies that are coming up like Langflow, LangGraph. There is Crew AI. There is Autogen. So several platforms are coming up that will give you a easy to build any of these RAG or agents. Quickly in 5 minutes you can create a RAG. In 5 minutes you can create a agent using these platforms. Okay, so we will explore some of these platforms, Bedrock, Langflow, and then build some of those things. And then we'll go into agentic AI. So how to build an agent, what is an agent, what is a multi-agentic AI, what does an agent do, what are the tools, how do you provide tools, how does it make sure that it gets decide what tools it uses, what agents it uses, kind of a thing. And then again, you can use it using your own code base, or you can use platforms Langflow, Bedrock, any of these, and Crew AI for building the multi-agentic AI that we will explore in week 5. Week 6, we get deeper into multi-agentic AI. We explore LangGraph as a framework, and we explore Crew AI as a framework to build multi-agentic AI, and we build some of the use cases. So it's very exciting. You can bring your own use cases. We will discuss, create data sets. It'll be like more collaborative learning. I don't want to put 20, 30 slides, walk you through, talk, bore you, and you forget. It'll be collaborative. You can bring your use cases, you can bring your data sets, we can discuss and see how we can implement that in our we can implement it in building an agents. We can have collaborative projects. Of course, I'll first walk you through some of the sample demos to build these, and then it'll be exciting if we explore, collaborate, come up with use cases and projects. Once any of these path you take, data engineer, you build data pipelines, GenAI engineer, you build RAG applications or agentic AI applications, then you would have your observability, right? So you have to have your tracing. So normally, whatever you run, you have your Splunk logs or whatever logs to do trace what is happening, what are the issues, and all of that. In Databricks, you have all of those UI to check how many tasks, which task is taking longer, what are the issues, or Spark UI that. And then there are some observability applications, dashboards that you can see. Similarly, for GenAI, there are a lot of, as I said, there is a lot of interest, a lot of companies building tools around this new technology. It's not like a fad. A lot is at stake. Okay, simply put, the building Langsmith is one of the observability tool to evaluate how hallucinations, how your LLM is performing or hallucinating from the actual facts uh, using Langsmith and Langfuse. Monitoring and analytics. How do you monitor the performance of your LLM? How do you evaluate your LLM? And then for evaluation also you have LangWatch. So all these three tools, Langsmith, Langfuse, and LangWatch, we will explore and see how they are used to evaluate, monitor, troubleshoot any of your pipelines. As I said, these are all early adapters. As I said, Langflow, I will show you. When you go, it says it's still in review. It's not even commercially available yet, right? So, and then we'll go through end-to-end project. We'll walk through, create use case. We will be, by this time, we will have done a lot of use cases, a lot of applications that we have built, agentic AI and RAG applications we have built. We should be comfortable in getting and building the end-to-end project. This is what Mahesh was saying. We can get our own domain-specific use case, and then it's not that we will get here at 60. As we go through these, we will start grooming our use cases, what kind of projects that we build, to showcase. So by this time, we should be ready, what we need, and then we'll get help. So that's how it is structured, the course overview. The first 2 weeks, foundation, embeddings, vector databases. The next 2 weeks, RAG applications. 2 weeks, agentic AI. And then last 2 weeks, we do monitoring, evaluation, and project kind of a thing. Any questions on the curriculum?
Harun, I
Yep.
have one question.
Yeah.
Hi. After each session,
Mhm.
how much effort would be needed from each of us participants to get to a decent level, considering everybody is new to this area, and after going through each course, I definitely believe just attending the course would not be sufficient, and there is a lot of work that one needs to do. So, what is the decent effort on a weekly basis or post session that people should spend to get to a decent level?
Okay, good question, Ravi. Yeah, I understand. So no content in the world will give you 100% unless you are motivated and you start practicing and working. That's absolutely 100%. Otherwise, as I said, right, you will not pay me for this training just for the content, because it's not something that you don't know or I don't know. Everybody knows the content is free. Basically, go to YouTube. If you go to internet, you just type something, you get hundreds, thousands of resources, right?
Right.
Now, what is the differentiator is this human touch, right? We are trying to automate, but we are still trying to have the human touch. This conversation, right? And the personal learning and collaboration, right? And guidance. That's what is, and the way how we explore, learn is what you will be paying for. Right? Now, the second part is, yes, how much time is required. Now, depends on what is your goal. Why I'm saying is, for example, there might be roles like, we have a product manager, we have a program manager, we have a data engineer, and we have an architect. So each of you will have a different goal outcome from this training. For product managers and program managers, if they understand what these frameworks are, what are their capabilities, what are the use cases that they can address, what is their end goal, and what are the kind of challenges that will be involved. The perspective is different, the context is different. If I am a data engineer, I want to get into GenAI engineer, my perspective is different. I would like to look at, hey, how can I implement this? What is the tool? What are the skill sets I need? What are the frameworks I need to learn? How does a data set fit into this? What are the challenges in actually coding this, running this? What are the resources that I need? So all of that. Based on that, if I take a GenAI engineer, assuming you have Python and SQL skills that are not advanced, because as I said, we are not going to create a Python application, not building any client server applications. Decent level, intermediate or basic, if you have, I think you should, if you are able to spend 2 hours a day, that should be more than enough. So weekly 10 hours should be more than enough to get a very good understanding. Even if you can't spend 2 hours, at least say 90 minutes, 1 hour or so should be good enough, maybe other than the training, but at least 2 hours is decent enough things. Hands-on practice, create projects. Not just go through this class, go through the video again, and just try to replicate what we have done in the class. That will again limit you to know what you know in the class. You have to extend beyond that. So if I say I took a data set, I took a use case, you should think the level 1 is to implement that. You shouldn't stop there. Level 2 is, how do I extend it? What if I change the data set? What if I change the use case? Okay, we have explored vector database called Chroma database. What if I change? How do I change it to VV8 DB? What if I replace it with VV8? How do I replace it? Can I try that? So if you have to have that motivation, that curiosity to take it to the next level, that will help you. That's what is going to help you. If you do basic, whatever you have learned here, practiced here, yes, you will get knowledge. But if you want to be really successful, go beyond, then you have to start exploring the next step. Come back and you can do a demo to the group. Make smaller groups, create a project and submit and do a demo. So learning is always sharing. So the more you share, the more you talk about it, the more you demo, the more confident you will be. That's how you explore.
Sure. Thanks, Arun. And one question about the timings, right? You said 9 a.m. CST to 10:30 or 11. That's 1.5
No,
to
that'll be same time, 9:30 to 11. 9:30
11:30.
CST to 11.
Got it. Okay. Is there a chance to make it a little bit early because of the kids and all, right? Maybe 7 to 9 or something like that, or it has to be the same time?
No, so we have different time zones. We have a lot of people from India
Okay.
joining.
Got it.
So we have to balance all the time zones.
Sure.
We'll see how we can
Okay.
address that.
All right.
Okay.
Thanks, Arun.
Yeah, thank you. So that is the any other questions on the curriculum? We have 15 minutes left. We'll just go through, look at some of the demos. Okay, we are good. Yeah, Mitran.
Yeah. So, see, we develop these
Oh, your voice is breaking.
I'm talking about the platforms, right? So we can develop the AI applications in multiple platforms, like in Azure or even Databricks, the multiple one, right? things mostly covering anything specifically related to Databricks you cover?
No, we are not covering all the platforms specific. That's what I said. We will be covering the concepts, we will be covering the tools, we will cover how to connect and build that application in one platform. You can easily replicate on any other platform. Okay. Because if I have to do Databricks, I have to assume everybody knows Databricks. So you have to have a Azure account, you have to have Azure Databricks account, you have to use Databricks clusters to process. It will be expensive to build all these applications on Databricks at a personal level because it incurs a lot of cost to run those models and run those platforms on the Databricks platform, as with any other thing. So we just use as much as possible open source free accounts, and then where we cannot, we will use some of those, explore some of those platforms. Why I choose Langflow? Langflow is a free open platform. You can create up to 5 projects. It also provides you a Astra DB. You can create up to 5 databases for free. So wherever possible, we use these kind of platforms which are open source, free to use. Databricks has community edition, but we cannot do any GenAI on the community edition. So you have to have Azure Databricks platform, paid version, premium, and then every time you run something, you incur cost. We can look at just doing a demo of one of the things, but we will see. We'll put it as optional for now.
Got it.
Okay, thank you. All right, so let's get back here. Where are we? Okay, so quickly, just couple of slides. What does a RAG application look like? Disclaimer: this is not my diagram or presentation. This is copied from the internet. Credit goes to the creator. I can't see the name actually here, but whoever it is. So you have this is a complete architecture of a RAG pipeline, retrieval augment generation. So you see here, this is LLM. Don't get overwhelmed. You will be doing day in day out in all these 8 weeks. You will be seeing this so many times that it gets etched into your memory. Close your eyes, you can see this. You will see this, I promise. So you have your data, you extract whatever data pipeline you are doing, you extract your documents or your structured data, everything. You break it into smaller chunks, paragraphs, sentences, words. As I said, you create embeddings out of it and store those embeddings in a vector database. That is your data preparation step. Then when a user asks a query, the same, it is converted into an embedding, and that embedding is searched, compared with your data in the vector database, and whatever results you get, those a subset of data is the passed to the LLM. The LLM will have the question and it will have the relevant results. It will go through both and then generate a format, a proper response, and give it to the user. So this is the very basic of RAG application. Now at each step, we will go and see what is involved. Double click, dig deeper, and see what is chunking, what are the practices you should follow here, what is embedding, what are the dimensions, what are the different options, what are different models that you can use to generate embeddings. Here we'll see what are the vector databases. Try working with different vector databases and how to connect to each vector databases, what are the features, and then LLMs, of course. This is the basic, where which model you want to use from all the providers, what are the features, which one you should you use domain specific, should you use fine tuning, should you use hosted models, or if you just use the on-prem models, all of these. So this is basically, we'll explore everything in the LLMs, and then we will also do something is not here, prompt in the LLM here, what kind of user prompt, what kind of system prompt, what kind of guardrails you need to add to restrict the information that is going out, or misuse of the information. So what kind of guardrails you should implement here for the LLMs, security, row level, all of that, what data it can access, and all of that. And then you look at this agentic AI we're talking about. So you look at an agent as just like a manager with a team, right? So you ask a query, it goes to a agent. If it is a single agent system, let's say at this level, the agent will have tools. Okay, if you are calling in a what you call a handyman company, okay, you have a lot of problems at your home. If it is a single agent, if it is a plumber, he will have all plumbing tools. If you know it is a plumbing, I only have plumbing services. Only the plumber will come and he will have his tools, and then he will go and fix that issue. If I don't know, I can call the company. They go through everything. Is it a water system, leakage system, air conditioning system, or whatever it is? Each one will have an agent. They have their own tools, and one agent or the manager will delegate to all the agents, whichever agents he sees. Hey, it's a plumbing problem. Where is my plumbing agent? You give it to him. He will go use his tools, solve, and get back. If it is some other problem, just like here, if it is your organizational data, your agent will go and get from different databases you have in your organization and send the data back. Or if you don't have, it is a question that can be answered from the general internet. So the agent will go and use this agent, web agent. He will have some web search tools like DuckDuckGo search, Google search, whatever. It goes to the internet, search for information, bring you back the answer. Or if it is a communication agent where you want to send out a notification, it can have tools that can connect to Slack or Gmail to send out notifications that it can do or get information from. This agent will then send it back to LLM, and whatever information that has come back, it will format and send response. But if you can see, the LLMs at every agent has its own LLM there. So you can have multiple LLMs within the same agentic AI at each step, handling this decision making, formatting, forwarding the context to the next one, giving some information to the next one to take that and then work on that, going further. It's just like a group of people handling a task. Somebody is managing, when a program manager, project manager, lead, and then developers trying to solve some problem. There is always information exchange. There is always tools. Basically, every engineers will have different tools. So which skill set is needed to solve that problem? So you can look at it at kind of a project that's happening, and these agents taking decisions based on information that they have to solve the problem. Okay, so that's at high level. I don't want to go deeper into theory and all of that. Just be comfortable, nothing very complicated. Again, these are taken from the internet. We'll have our own architecture diagrams. You will be very comfortable creating all of these by at least halfway through the training. You should be very comfortable with these. Now, if I want to look at some of the if I want to do a RAG application or a semantic search application that I was doing here. So this is just a Python notebook. You know, right? Google Colab. We will try to do this on Google Colab. What I'm doing here, I'm using a Chroma DB for to add my vector database, a Chroma DB as vector database, which is free. I can just use pip install. So as in a Python library to install Chroma DB libraries. Let me, by the time is it? Okay, it's still here. Once that is done, I'm importing the libraries, creating a client, and within that, I'm creating collection. Collection is just where you want to put your data, okay, for now. So I'll be going at very, very high level. Don't worry, you don't need to understand every bit of it. We just want to see how a RAG application would look like, or semantic search application would look like. What happened? Okay, this already exists. That's fine. Documents. So I'm adding this information. Okay. So this, all of this information, these sentences about weather in Hawaii. Okay. And then these have all of these IDs. If you see here, it's called All Mini LML6V2. This is the name of the model that it is using to generate embeddings and put this information in the database. That we will explore what is an embedding model, what are different models that you have. Now I'm asking a query, tell me about Hawaii. Okay, so let me run this. If I see here and I say I want get me two results, I said tell me about Hawaii. In a SQL, how will you write? You say get select from this where whatever this column information like percent Hawaii, or tell me about Hawaii. You can have to strip everything and then just put Hawaii here. But here I can just give you a sentence and it will go and do a semantic search. So I got two answers. One is it says beautiful day in Hawaii. The weather is nice in Hawaii. So since it has a Hawaii name, it searched this database for with that name context, that wherever it could find Hawaii, it got that information, these two. And then we also have the IDs, ID5 and ID3. Now, if I say, if I want to just check, it's freezing. It's an just a expression. Okay, I want to see if there is any information in the database, in the weather database, whether the weather is freezing there, right? So if I just say freezing, I'd still get three responses. As I said, I want three responses here. Now, what am I getting here? It says it's cold and windy. The temperature is very low. It is a very harsh winter. Have anybody seen freezing anywhere in this response in this here? Is there any freezing here? That word, right? So we don't have that word, but it understands the meaning of that word and it gets all the informations that is close to the meaning of that word. Like if the temperature is very low, it can be freezing. If it is a harsh winter, it can be freezing. If it is cold and windy, it can be freezing. So these kind of semantic search is what the vector databases are known for to use. And then how does it know these are related to this? Is again your algorithms, the vector search algorithms we will explore based on Euclidean distance, and there are some other two or three algorithms that it uses in a vector space to understand how close these are to the inputs and then brings those output, kind of a thing. So this is how you build a semantic search application, a very simple one. And then if I go to, let's say, agentic AI, I was talking about, I'm using Phi data here. So simply, I will go and install the Phi data framework libraries from pip install. Once that is installed, I will import all the agent, and then I'm using OpenAI chat here because agentic AI or RAG application, you need an LLM, right? So that LLM model I'm using here, OpenAI chat. DuckDuckGo is a search tool. It can be used to search the internet. That is a tool. And then I have OpenAPI key I have to give, which I'm giving here, OpenAPI key, which I have. You have to register and subscribe, so get subscription and get the key to use ChatGPT OpenAI models, LLM models. I'm using GPT-4 here model. And then what I'm going to do is I'm giving it a link image and asking the agent about this image and the latest news about it. Okay, there are two tasks I'm giving the agent. I'm not giving any information, but for the agent to do this, to solve this problem, or to give me this response information of, for the questions, answers for these questions, I am equipping it, enabling it with tools. What are the tools? I have one is my LLM model that it can use. And then I am also giving a DuckDuckGo search tool that it can use to search the internet if needed. So the agent has to make an decision whether it can answer from the chat GPT model or it has to use the internet to search and get the information. Show tool calls. I wanted the agent to show me what tools it is using. Markdown is true. I wanted to put in a text format, so I put the two. So now I run this. Before running this, okay. So I just gave this URL. It is thinking, it is understanding, it's the response, how much time it has taken to generate the response. Then it says the image shows St. Mary's Basilica, famous Gothic church located in Krakow, Poland. Okay, so we can just go and verify this. Just go to this URL and see. Just what happened. Let me copy just this here and see. Okay, so this is the image that I have given. So it's like Kościoł Mariacki, Krakow, some basilica. That's what we are trying to get information on. So what it has got, it says it is the image of St. Mary's Basilica. It's the famous Gothic church. And to get the latest news, I will perform a search. So to get the latest news, the LLM does not have. It is one of the limitations. We will talk about it. What are the limitations? It says it goes to the internet and it uses this function DuckDuckGo News, and it has formed the query on its own. We have not given any query. So it took the information, it formed a query by itself and passed that query to DuckDuckGo search. And it said, give me max results of 5. And the DuckDuckGo search gave all of these results back, and it printed here. These are the latest news from internet about that search. So that is how the agent has done. It took a decision based on the information, what tools it has to use. The same thing I can do with OpenAI, DuckDuckGo, Yahoo Finance tools. Here I have a web agent. Then again, I'm using GPT-4 tools. I have DuckDuckGo. This is called a web agent, as I talked about multi-agents. Then I have a finance agent where again the model is same GPT-4, but tool is Y Finance tools. This is another tool provided by Yahoo Finance we can use in building the agentic AIs. So if I want to do any stock related questions, I can use this tool to get stock price, analyst recommendations, company info, and all of that. So this is one agent. Like this you can think about one resource or one developer or one engineer which has a skill set of getting finance information using this tool he has. This is a engineer which can get you information from the web using this tool, DuckDuckGo web search tool. Then I have a agent team. I'm building a team like a manager who can manage these two engineers. So I'm giving, what is your team? Hey, your team consists of these players, web agent and finance agent. I'm giving instruction to the team. You always include sources where you are getting your information from, and then use tables to display if you have any data. Again, show me the tool calls, show me the markdown true. And then I'm asking this question, summarize analyst recommendation and share the latest news for NVIDIA. So the response, it gives you transfer task to finance agent. First, it goes to finance agent and to get recommendations for NVIDIA stock. Then to get web agent to find the latest news articles related to NVIDIA. These are all the analyst recommendations it printed in the text, in the tabular format we asked. And here is the latest news articles. So all of that it has done. So you can use this agent for your trade analysis. If you want to, hey, I want to buy Meta shares, I want to buy Microsoft shares, you can use this agent to do list all the things and get sentiment and get more information, multiple agents to get a decision or to get you more information to make you informed decision of this. All right, so this is about using PyData framework to build agents with tools and all of that. Now, as I said, we will explore the no code, low code framework as I was talking about. This is the line flow. See, if you see here, line flow, low code app development is in preview. It's not commercially available yet, but we will still go home. We'll still go and create something. We can say, I'll just take 5 more minutes. I hope you have time. Is it okay? So let's go. You can go new. You can talk about new flow. You have all of these vector store, prompting, agent. You can use any of the templates. So let's say if I use a sample template here, you get all the widgets here. What you can drag and drop all of these to build the agentic AI. You have all vector databases. You have monitoring tools. You have platforms that you can use from here, frameworks, everything, input, output, data processing, all of these you can use, drag and drop. If you have worked with any of the frameworks like Informatica, IICS, or Pentaho, or any other ETL tools, drag and drop tools, you should be knowing, or Power BI, Tableau kind of a thing, you should be knowing similar platform. Here we have one URL tool, again for search. Here I have a calculator to do math. And so this is your LLM that you want to use. I have to use a key. I have stored my key in the Open API key that I will provide to use the ChatGPT model. You just connect chat input to the agent. Agent has these two tools, calculator and web search. Then, and the agent will use these tools and give you the chat output. Simple agent tools, AI using template, or you can drag and drop here and just connect all of this. So you go to playground and then ask your questions. So I will just use the same URL that we have used there. Since I have given it the URL, so it has two tools. One is the calculator and one is the URL. So once I give the URL, does it use calculator or no? It knows not to use calculator, or it should use this. If shared a URL to an image, this links point to a picture of St. Basilica. So this is the input and output that it has used URL. If I use a mathematical term, 25 per and say square root of 49, I give this problem to solve. It should use the calculator app to solve this. It takes a little time to understand, reason what to split this into the math equations to get this running. Yeah, here it says issue with evaluated the use of square root function. Let me break it down. So it has break down the problem. 25 to the power of 3 is this. Square root of 49 is 7. Multiply this 7 times. So result of the expression divided by into 7 is, this is the answer. So it has used calculator function here. See here it says executed calculator component evaluate expression. So it will give you what tools also it is using. So that's basically how we are going to actually do in every session, create, or I'll walk you through how to create these components, how these components work, what's happening, all of that. Yeah, I think that's all about it. Prerequisites, we know basic Python, SQL, some knowledge, all of this, just high level understand knowledge. What we will use, as I said, I have shown you Google Colab, Python free, OpenAI subscription. Some subscriptions you still need to use the LLMs. Some might be free, some might you have. Bedrock, we'll use platform. There might be some part of it free and some part of it charged if you use it. Langflow and other works, we use free accounts, and Chroma, the vector database, also free accounts as much as possible. All right, so that's about it. I know we ran over time, 10 minutes, but let me know your feedback offline, online, and then happy learning. We'll continue. We'll wrap up if you don't have any questions. If you have any questions, just feel free to ask me now or ping me offline anytime. I will answer, or we can have offline discussion as well.
See, there is so much buzz about MCP nowadays. Are we covering that MCP server and all?
NCP.
Protocol, MCP.
I'm not sure. We'll look at it. Maybe we can check. Can you ping me the reference? I can check and get back to you on that.
Model context protocol.
Okay. I'm not sure if I'm covering that yet.
Okay.
But we will see. We'll explore if it is important enough. We will cover. All right. Anything else? Otherwise, I'll let you go. Have a nice rest of the weekend. Hope to meet you soon in our training sessions. Okay. Take care. Bye.
Thank you.